Hour number 3, Chase and Big Joe, 102.5 The Game on this Thursday. We're live at the Omni Nashville Hotel at Bar Lines, moving fast and furiously throughout this show. We told you it was going to be a busy show. We've covered football. We've covered rugby. Let's hit some boxing. Let's do a little bit of that. It's coming up tomorrow at Municipal Auditorium. The Team Boxing League, as the Nashville Smash, will take on the Phoenix Fury. And we're excited now to have Fred DeLay, the head coach, on, and introduce your fighter to us, Isaiah.
Yes, this is Isaiah Elrod. He's from Johnson City, Tennessee,
okay.
And he was one of our fighters from last year, and excited to have him back this year.
You excited to be in your home state?
Oh yeah, I love it. You know, it's great. We get a great turnout. You know, a lot of fans. It's nice to put on a show for them.
This whole concept, we were just talking off the air, Fred, that like this team boxing concept is something that I had never heard until this. Pretty cool to see because you can have multiple fighters, you do 1 or 2 rounds, and you're not having to train and focus on having to do a full fight. I think it's pretty cool.
Man, it's exciting. You know, you only fight 1 round, maybe 2 rounds, but you have to train still and have the conditioning to be able to go hard that whole time you're in there. Because let's face it, these guys are coming strong. Everybody is ready to fight, and you got to get that win 1 round at a time. So it's important. So you got to train just as hard, maybe even harder, and maybe just a tad bit different.
Isaiah, do you know when you're going in the match? I mean, do you find out the night of? Do you know now where you're going to be tomorrow night?
Yeah. So they let us know before. You know, we have an idea of what rounds we're going to be. Sadly, tomorrow night, my opponent decided that he wasn't going to show up. I guess he got scared, wouldn't get on the plane, and so I'm not going to get the chance to fight tomorrow night. Did all the work, made the weight, but
right now is that a point for us?
No. So what happens is,
damn it,
we got to go through the swing rounds and bring up. I had him scheduled to fight in the launch rounds and the money rounds, and we hand select. And I can go over that process with you, but we chose him to be one of our money round fights, the ones that we feel good and strong about, and so when his opponent didn't come to Nashville, we had to pull up from the swing rounds, 2 fights that maybe we didn't necessarily want. We still next man up scenario,
right.
but when we had to do that, we definitely we took it on the chin a little bit because we were counting on him to get the W in each one of his rounds and maybe the stoppage, and that's probably why he didn't show up on the airplane.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I mean, you got to be bummed, right? I would be.
Oh, yeah, it's horrible. You know what I'm saying? Because you do all the work. A cut takes 2 weeks, and a lot of people don't understand that. I spend 2 weeks working my butt off, cutting that weight, draining myself, killing myself, and then show up ready to fight, do the fun part, and, now I don't get to. So it's awful.
But the good news is that we have, in this great format, we have another fight next week already, and so he can go right into there. He's going to be a professional and move past this moment and get ready for next week when we fly to L.A. and we fight the L.A. Elite. And so, that's just part of it. And then he'll be here tomorrow night to cheer on and be there for his brothers and sisters on the team.
So tomorrow night there's no 165 match?
So they're 160. So there's not going to be a 160 match. So we had to pull up 2 fighters that were only planning on fighting once.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, like that, we bring 2 up. And they have to step up and fight. You see, so we had our strategy, and he was a big part of our strategy for the format. Anything could happen. Somebody could get really sick. Somebody could have an accident or whatever. So this type of thing could happen. We don't know. Truly, we don't know what happened to this guy. But that's just that's the challenge of a coach, because now you're trying to figure out, okay, who do we, and that kind of stuff. And then do we have these particular fighters that we're only going to plan to fight once? Do we have them mentally ready to come in there and fight? I feel like we do. We obviously would rather have Isaiah. That was our original game plan, but it's just part of it.
So, Isaiah, do you prepare for a specific guy? Do you watch tape on a guy?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, I'm a student of the game. Like, I'm a pretty boring guy when it comes to stuff. Like, I watch boxing. That's it, Yeah. So, spent this whole time preparing for him. You know what I'm saying? We actually tried to move me up a weight class because I just wanted to fight. So I spent all last night studying the guy that I thought I was going to be able to fight. We found out this morning it wasn't going to be able to happen. But, I'm definitely a student of the game.
Coach, tomorrow night, Municipal Auditorium, and tell us why we need – because I find this all fascinating, too. This is a lot of fun because this isn't traditional 15-round boxing. It is, but it's not. Why should we come tomorrow night?
Man, it is exciting. Before, we all come out of a traditional boxing background. A couple years back, my son and another young man that I've been training for since he was a kid, they got into the league, and I was a little skeptical, but we go to San Antonio, we fight. It comes down to the last round.
Wow.
We need a knockout to win, and so you go out there, and 23 rounds have just happened, and there is a moment in time that this last fight, and it happened to be my son who actually was fighting that, he had to get the knockout to win the fight. So that excitement, and leading up to that, it was a back and forth bout,
Yeah.
So we were up, they were up, and going down. So it is such an exciting time, and these guys go out there. By the way, he didn't get the knockout win. It didn't happen. It's hard when you have to knock somebody out and you only have 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a little bit difficult.
Crazy.
But nonetheless, that was the mentality to go out there and win. But the excitement level is different because number one, you have you have your teammates and brothers and sisters that you're fighting for out there. They're cheering you on. It's so electric. And so forth, and so that alone is worth coming down and watching. And you're building relationships with these fighters. I like to bring back my fighters and have long tenured fighters and build them up and hopefully pick them and build them and drill. Isaiah is a perfect example. He last year had a great season, and after last season, he went right to work. I witnessed it. He came to our gym for mini camps and went home and worked his butt off on all the different things that would help him win. And all of a sudden, now he's showing up into the league, and he's ready to move to the next level.
Nice.
So as you come to our fights and you start to see Will Langston, who you'll meet later on in the interview, and then
let's
Isaiah.
go. Let's get Will up here. Actually, that'd be cool.
Come on.
We'll switch you guys out. Isaiah, sorry you can't fight tomorrow, but appreciate you doing this.
Yeah, no, it's
amazing.
cool. It's good to have. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so we'll have a little tag team match here for a second and bring in your teammate here.
Yeah. So, but that's the reason why you need to come there, because it's so exciting. So many characters, such excitement to the game.
Will, what weight class are you?
Light heavyweight, 175.
Okay, so he's got an opponent tomorrow. He's ready to go.
Yes.
What have you done to kind of study up on your opponent?
I've been watching the guy for a while. I'm actually really cool with his manager, so I'll try to take an actual pro fight with this guy. So nothing new to me. I've been watching him for a while. He's kind of like one of the boogeymans of the the division in the league. But those are the guys that I look forward to fighting. Everyone always, they have this hype around him, and he's made a big name for himself in the league, and all respect to him, but he's never fought me. So I think that's going to be a big difference in it. He's a lot smaller than I am. I'm a real 175. A lot of these guys fight at lower weight classes, and they just don't want to cut weight in the league, so they come up. I was fighting at 168, but just because it was easy for me to make the weight.
Yeah.
But now I'm fighting at 175, and actually in my actual career as well, I'm fighting at 175, so I feel a lot stronger. I get to walk around a lot heavier, a lot easier for me to make the cut. So it's going to be fireworks tomorrow night for sure.
Okay. I like his confidence. Now,
I love this.
Does he go first?
Well, I don't know. He doesn't go first. I think he fights in the middle rounds and then in the money rounds.
Okay.
So it's definitely exciting. Since I met him, one of the things that I fell in love with this guy over is he when he gets, like I told him, hey, we're fighting. I gave him his opponent's name, and he was like, absolutely, I want that fight. I want, like, a lot of people would stray away from that fight with this guy's reputation, right? And Will, this is not just new to this particular week. It's every week. He wants the best. He wants to fight and challenge himself against the best. And that's another reason why you should come, because you get to meet a guy like that and watch him go to war and put in all the work. I know he works hard. I talk to him every week. He trains up in Wisconsin. I talk to him every week, and I know what he puts into it.
Love it.
So how many this goes on for a number of weeks, like because you're only doing 1 or 2 rounds a week, can you fight the next week, or is it how does that work?
Oh yeah, for sure. So after this one, what we'll do is we'll just go back into preparing for the next bout, and I've already scouted that guy, so we already know what to prepare for. So it's really just about staying in shape, staying in the best shape you can. There's a saying, if you're ready, you don't got to get ready, and that's what I like to do.
And the biggest challenge on those like fast turnarounds like this one, I think we have 2 fast turnarounds is the weight cuts, but you just have to be diligent in not just in this week but in all of it. And so everybody's pros, we talk about it all the time. It's something that we make sure that we all recognize the challenges with that, because if you cut wrong, then you're not going to perform at your best. And so, but these guys are all professional, and a lot of guys like Isaiah and Will, who these 2 are actually very, very good at what they do. When it comes to that, they can share, and I've heard them share with the younger fighters that come up on the team to help them to understand that, which is an amazing thing. Just that organically happens. So I'm excited about that. But it is the challenge for sure.
I like both of you guys. Can we get you guys a fight with Jake Paul so y'all can shut him up, please?
Yeah, you know what's crazy? I was actually in a camp with Jake Paul.
Were
I got
you
a
really?
picture with him. I was in camp with Jake Paul in Puerto Rico. I want to say this was back in 2022.
Okay.
I was in Puerto Rico for about a month.
Jake Paul doesn't want a real fight.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
No,
His
it's a good
persona
guy.
for the camera is like, it's different than what it is when you see him in person. He's a real soft-spoken, quiet guy. He's a good guy. But, yeah, for sure, I'd take that fight. That's a big money fight, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But there's levels. There's levels to this game, Obviously you got amateurs, you got pros, and you got elite pros, you got world champions, I believe I'm on my way to become a world champion, and that's the goal. So I look to just share the ring with the best that I can, and even in my solo career, that's what I do. Win, lose, or draw, I'm always game to fight the best. There's a guy that he's a retired boxer. His name was Glenn Johnson, and they called him the Road Warrior. I like to look at myself as the modern day Road Warrior. I know I'm not the best, but I'm willing to fight the best.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll prove it with those guys.
I love that. The Team Boxing League is going to be at Municipal Auditorium tomorrow night. Get your tickets. Go check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun as the Nashville Smash take on the Phoenix Fury. Fred, Will, Isaiah, thank you so much for doing this.
Hey, can I just say one more thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
I just found out that the tickets are buy one, get one free between now and the fight, so it's something important.
Oh, wow.
Everybody should go and
Get
get
them while you can.
Yeah, because it's going to be an exciting fight, no doubt. It's going to be fun. And then at every home game afterwards, we encourage all the fans to come and meet and greet all of our fighters. They want it. They love it. They look forward to it. So take pictures, all that kind of stuff. It's a big fan-friendly event. So buy one, get one free online, Team Boxing League.
Absolutely. TeamBoxingLeague.com. Guys, thank you so much for doing
Thanks for
this.
having us.
Yeah,
Thank
we'll
you.
see
Love
you.
Thank you.
Tomorrow night. We'll come back. We'll talk some hockey. We'll do that with Greg Wyshynski next. 102.5 The Game. Let's talk some hockey now. Chase and Big Joe, 102.5 The Game from the Omni Nashville Hotel at Bar Lines. Greg Wyshynski joins us from ESPN, presented by Old National Bank. Get old. Greg, thanks for pushing back a little bit. How you doing?
My pleasure. Well, I got nothing else better to do than to prepare for round 5 between Edmonton and LA, which could be a thing that happens after tonight. Yeah, it's been good. I think we've got some intriguing first-round matchups. Unfortunately, none of them involving Nashville.
Yeah, look, I think if we're all being honest, and I said this to Barry Trotz when I saw him on Monday you asked me at the beginning of the year, are the Predators going to be in a position in mid-April to make the playoffs? I probably would have told you no, and they were. And, it came right down to the wire. That's after selling at the deadline. So, if you're looking at things with the glass half full, obviously it's not what they wanted, but they certainly made it interesting and were there right at the end.
Yeah, and I think one of the benefits from this run that they had was obviously increasing the value of some of the guys who might not be here next year. In particular, a guy like Steven Stamkos, who I think has shown he's got plenty left in the tank. And if the new general manager comes in and, as Stammer talked about the other day, declares they want to go in maybe a different direction away from the veteran players, his standing in this league as an elite offensive player, I think has increased because of what he's done this year and what he did to help the Predators remain in a playoff hunt. So, there, in the long-term planning for what the Predators are trying to do, there's some benefits to what happened. If ultimately making the playoffs would have probably been the best thing for some of these young players.
Greg, when you kind of look at this, the names that are out there, we've talked to you about the GM search. Fitz, if he comes in, Tom Fitzgerald, I would say Andrew Brunette probably has a good chance of being back as the head coach. The others, I don't know. But looking at the season as a whole, strictly from evaluating the head coach, do you believe he should get another year here?
That's a really good point about Fitz, too. I don't think I've considered that, the fact that, they have that relationship going back to when he was an associate coach with the Devils and maybe was the secret sauce for why they had the year that they had when he was on that bench. But
they were teammates here, too.
And they were teammates, correct. Yes, they've got a long-standing relationship. It really comes down to two factors, like you said. Who's the GM? What are the expectations for next year insofar as what's the long-term plan? And ultimately, does ownership think he should come back? I mean, that's the other part of this, too, is, we don't really have a sense overall of what the highest tier of the organization thought of this close but no cigar season and the job that Brunette did as a coach. I tend to believe that the way that they played down the stretch and the contractual obligations therein for Brunette beyond the season would indicate that he will be back, but I have no solid intel on that either way. And we won't. I don't think anybody will until we know who the GM is.
Well, Greg, it's funny. People are like, well, if you go to Nashville, they've only made one final in their history and, these contracts and yada, yada, yada. If I'm an assistant GM or a hockey operations guy, I would absolutely love the opportunity to be a general manager in the NHL, right?
Of course. Oh, of course. And I think it's a market, one, that has, a lot of inherent advantages as far as fan support and living here and players wanted to come there. But, I mean, as they transition to the next thing, I think that they've got some good pieces already in place and certainly have some pieces they can move out to improve themselves in the short term. I'm still intrigued as to what the ultimate structure is going to be for this team. Like I said, a couple of weeks ago with you guys, I had some intel about the interview process, and it seemed like that they were gearing towards having someone with experience as a president of hockey operations and have somebody come in underneath them as the GM, kind of the way that Montreal kind of got set up with Jeff Gorton being top of the pyramid and Kent Hughes working underneath them. That's a template that we've seen for a few teams. And so the idea that it could be, say, a Tom Fitzgerald above someone like Bill Scott, for example, who I know is someone very much on Nashville's radar, the assistant general manager with the Edmonton Oilers, that's intriguing. But there's also the chance that they just give everything to one person and uncomplicate things and have that person just kind of lead the organization.
If there's a candidate that's with a team that goes a long way in the Stanley Cup playoffs, does that hurt or hinder the Predators in any shape, form, or fashion when they try to get a new GM in here to evaluate talent, get the structure, on and on and on?
Not necessarily. I mean, basically, let's be honest. We all play this game where we believe that everybody's following the rules. We all believe there's no negotiation with players before they're allowed to negotiate with free agents and all that malarkey. If somebody is on the Preds' radar and if somebody is in talks with the team and there's an agreement that, like, hey, when your situation is done with your team, you'll come on over and take over ours. Of course, they're going to start the hard work of figuring out the draft board and doing all the work that goes into figuring out the offseason. But, I think in the case of somebody that's for your front office, it is a little bit different than a coach or something like that if you're looking to hire them, in the sense that they might be able to hop at any point. I mean, yeah, you'd want to be there for the victory celebration and what have you, but it's not as if the the general manager is doing much heavy lifting in the off season outside of making sure you're cap compliant. So, there's always the possibility that somebody could jump early if their team's on a run. But overall, I think that the work will start much earlier than anyone anticipates if it looks like it's going to go in a certain direction.
Greg Wyshynski is with us from ESPN. So looking at some other storylines as the regular season wraps up, has Alex Ovechkin played his final NHL game?
He doesn't believe so. I was about 90% he was going to retire probably about a month ago. Before I covered their game against the Penguins on Sunday, I was probably about down to 80%. Now I'm at 60% that he's going to retire. On top of everything he said today about hoping that it's not his last game and the fact that his kids want him to come back, and obviously he's got some things to figure out insofar as family and whether he can do the things he needs to do as a 40-year-old to come back and get an understanding if the Capitals are going to improve themselves enough where it's worth coming back. But it's pretty clear the fire is still burning. It's pretty clear that he doesn't want to give up his life. And all of his actions this week, whether it's waving off the Penguins handshake line or treating these final games as anything but a spectacular farewell to his teammates and the fans, kind of indicates, I think, that the voice in the back of his head might be getting louder insofar as it not being his final season.
Hey, maybe he needs to do like Randy Orton and listen to the voices.
There's some things Randy Orton has done in the last month that I would not advise Ovechkin to do. But that's for the WrestleMania Laps fans guide that's currently on ESPN.com if you want to read it.
Hey, I want to ask you this. How cool is it to see, Chris Mason talked about this the other day, Buffalo in the playoffs and being good?
Oh, it's so cool. Listen, you guys remember that Buffalo used to be a city that would drive a national television rating. They are hockey mad there. And so to get the Sabres back in the playoffs, I think is going to be hugely beneficial for the excitement of the playoffs overall. But also as a long-suffering New York Jets fan, anytime a team can snap its historic drought for the postseason, I'm going to be very enthusiastic for that team. I'll tell you one thing that's really fun about the Sabres. So they break the longest drought in NHL history as far as between playoff appearances. And then Rasmus Ruotsalainen, who used to be a defenseman for Buffalo who plays for the Flyers, breaks the longest active drought for a player. He has never appeared in the playoffs after over, I think it's 860 games. So
wow.
He got stuck on the Sabres when they stunk, and then he goes to the Flyers, they stink, and then both the Sabres and the Flyers make the playoffs in the same season to snap both of their streaks. It's a really, really fun little bit of hockey symmetry right there.
Before we let you go, it is you just mentioned it with WrestleMania, so it's our annual WrestleMania predictions from Greg Wyshynski. But this year has got to be extra special because it's on the ESPN app. The first hour of Night 1 will be on ESPN2. The first hour of Night 2 will be on ESPN. So your network is obviously very involved with WWE and WrestleMania this year. What are you thinking going into this weekend?
The thing I'm most excited about is that Obafemi match against Lesnar.
Yes.
I feel like he's got a rocket strapped to his back to be the next big sensation in the WWE, and obviously this match is poised to kind of make him a star or give him a huge obstacle that he'll still have to overcome. But his promo the other night, if you want to look it up, where he dueled with Paul Heyman on the mic, was the stuff that makes you go, oh, this guy's got it. He's just got the total package of stardom. But as far as everything else, look, man, I ain't going to lie to you. I had to write the preview for WrestleMania today. It was maybe one of the most challenging things I've had to write because I'm not exactly enamored with one of my coworkers being involved in a certain angle.
Yeah.
So I don't want to tick anybody off. I don't want to get anybody mad. I think I did a good job of subtly conveying some of the issues I have with the angle. But the great thing about wrestling is that as much as you could, be skeptical about the direction things have gone, sometimes by the end of the night you're like, you know what? I was wrong. They actually had an idea of where they wanted to take this thing, and I'm hoping that's the case with the Orton Rhodes match on at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I'm like, what is this that I'm curious to see where they're going to take. Like, I know there's a swerve somewhere, so that's what I think I'm excited about.
The thing that kills me is, like, you got to at least make it logical. And if the whole thing is, like, I want to bring back the Attitude Era, and the guy that you're attacking is a guy who bleeds in every match and told The Rock to F off last year, I don't quite understand the logic of making that guy the symbol of all the things that are wrong with the current product.
Yeah. So we'll see. And I'm also intrigued by the Punk and Roman Reigns match as well, which I believe is going to be the main event Sunday night.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a feud where it started off as being kind of intriguing and hate-filled. And then as it's gotten closer to the match, they've added a lot of layers of sort of why they hate each other and jealousy and things like that. It's getting really interesting and multifaceted, which is sometimes how I think both these guys operate, where you start at the baseline of I hate you, I want to fight, and then by the time the match arrives, it becomes like a psychological drama, and that's kind of where we are with it right now.
Well, absolutely love that we can talk wrestling on SportsCenter. Us wrestling nerds have always wanted that. I think it's really, really cool. Greg, appreciate the time as always, and we will talk next week.
Anytime. Thanks for having me.
Greg Wyshynski joining us from ESPN, senior NHL writer, and also covers a little wrestling and WWE as well, presented by Old National Bank. Get old. We will come back and kind of recap. We've hit a lot of things today,
pal,
on the Chase and Big Joe show, 102.5 The Game. Chase and Big Joe, 102.5 The Game, here on this Thursday at the Omni Nashville Hotel at Bar Lines.
It's beautiful outside right now.
It is gorgeous.
Beautiful. Packed show today, a lot of fun. Football, rugby, boxing, hockey, soccer, table tennis, pickleball. I mean, we got it all today.
We have covered it all. And you know what? Not many shows could do that.
Not many shows could do that at all. It's complete nonsense.
I told you during the break, I'm like legit tired after just so many things.
A lot of
going on
Googling
today,
we had to do for this today.
No, but it was fun. And again, as I said at the top of the show, this is a phrase you taught me years ago. We're hyper-local. We're hyper, but we're local.
Yep.
And that's why when these big events come to town, we want to highlight them because, they deserve the same, the men and women that are part of it deserve the same amount of pub as the Predators or the Titans or Cats or whatever,
Amen.
Nashville SC. So we certainly want to give them.
I can get draft analysis anywhere in the world, but
Yep.
I always want to know what's going on in my backyard. And my backyard is Nashville and Middle Tennessee. So we agreed this when we started this a couple of years ago, like hyper-local takes priority over most everything else. And that includes the Preds, Titans, Nash, SC, all that stuff.
Yeah, they're local too.
That's part of our backyard. So I think people are more interested in what's happening around. Like this boxing league tomorrow night.
It's fascinating.
I'd go if I wasn't going to the Nashville, the Cats up in Clarksville. I'd go to that. And Dr. Crane, I found out that my tickets for Sunday are next to you at the rugby game.
Awesome.
So I will be having you tell me what's going on.
Don't eat my
So
food.
will you guys carpool or?
We will not. I don't have an extra car seat. And Nick's got to sit in my car seat.
Oh, okay.
So sorry about that, buddy.
It's all right. I'll be driving. I just ask you not to eat my food. That's all I ask.
You can ask all you want. But usually when you ask, it makes him want to do it more.
So people that know me know I like to take food off people's plates.
You too.
So there's two sweet ladies over here having a meeting, and I said, are you going to eat those wings? They said, no. So I ate the wings, and I about died during the segment with Greg Wyshynski because I couldn't breathe. So I learned a lesson today.
He came over here, and he's like, doing like, like doing that. And I'm like, what is going on?
And they're laughing at me, too. They're like, we told you. I'm like, yeah, I know, but the wings were really good.
Yeah. The wings are good. I had – mine were not spicy, but they were very good.
Man, oh, man. So good times.
Nevada Josh says, great show today, guys. One of the best, and it's not even football season. Imagine that.
Yeah, right? Thank you, Nevada. I had to correct Dr. Crane yesterday. Nevada.
I heard Parker say Nevada today. Nevada.
Yep.
That's what it is.
I was corrected many times.
I was too.
I don't want our young friend to have to be corrected by the public, just by us.
Alan Franklin says, one of your best shows. Love the diversity.
Thanks, Al.
So
What do you say, Al?
You can call me Al. We had some fun today. Excited. Coming up next, though,
right.
What day is it? And celebrity birthdays. We'll do that coming up here on Chasing Big Joe at the Omni, 102.5 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game on this Thursday. Predators will have their final game of the season tonight. Have a feeling we're going to see some youngins in there. As Andrew Brunette said this morning, they do have some guys that are banged up, and they have called up some young guys, including Aiden Fink, who was David Poyle's final draft pick a few years ago. So we'll see. We'll see what the lineup looks like in Game 82 tonight, but could be interesting.
How's Milwaukee doing?
I'm going to be 100% honest
Please.
with you. I have no idea.
Okay. All right, then.
I have been focused on what's going on up here.
As you should be, pal.
So when I say up here, I mean, the NHL, but down geographically. But, yeah, I honestly don't know.
Fifth in the Central Division.
Thank you.
Out of 7
no
teams.
Playoffs. Yeah. They will not make the playoffs. I had a feeling that was the case because a lot of them were called up. But
okay.
Anyway, with that, let's get to what day is it and celebrity birthdays.
Not trying to correct you, Chase, but they have an X next to their name, so I think they are going to make the playoffs.
Oh, are they in the
Yeah.
playoffs? Okay.
So
All right.
that's a good sign.
Dr. Crane, always correct me.
Sometimes the X means you're eliminated.
Well, at the bottom it says clinch playoff position.
Yep.
Okay.
Right. Good for them.
Well, on the other side of things, we'll go to the birthdays here in the list here. We have, not the pop-up, College Student Grief Awareness Day is today. Day of Mushrooms, Foursquare Day, Get to Know Your Customers Day, National DARE Day. That is an acronym for National Drug Abuse Resistance Education Day. National Bean Counters Day. National let's not do that. National Pizza Cake Day.
Oh, no, go back. What we got?
No, we're not. National Eggs Benedict Day. National Healthcare Decisions Day. National High Five Day. National Librarian Day. There are a lot of days. I'll pick the funny ones. National Wear Your Pajamas to Work Day.
That's funny.
Let's see. Teach Your Daughter to Volunteer Day. Take Action for Librarians Day. And last but not least, World Semicolon Day.
That's important. We talked about that. Semicolon. Why that's important. Right?
Yep. Because
a period means that the story's over. Semicolon means your story's not finished. You got a lot to offer. We'll talk about that in a minute. All right, time for celebrity birthdays. Get these within 2 years. Our first birthday is unique. Bob Montgomery, today's his birthday. He played Major League Baseball. He was the last player in 1979 that did not wear a batting helmet to the plate. And he lives here in Nashville, Tennessee. Bob Montgomery was the last person to not wear a batting helmet to the plate in 1979, and he lives in Nashville. How old is Bob?
He is, I'm going to say he is 81.
80.
82. Good job, boys. Well done. Dr. Crane, how old is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? The player, not the pilot.
79.
74.
79, exactly.
Nice.
Chase McCabe, how old is Bill Belichick, who was born right here in Nashville, Tennessee?
74.
73.
74, exactly. Dr. Crane, how old is Major League Manager Bruce Bochy?
Bruce Bochy is 73.
74.
71. We're tied at 3. Chaser, how old is Steve Entman? He was the number 1 pick in the 1991 or 92 draft by the Colts.
I'm going to say 59.
58.
56. Up 4-3. Dr. Crane, how old is Walt Williams? Basketball player.
66.
He is 64.
56. Chaser, how old is tennis player Conchita Martinez?
32.
34.
54.
Nice.
Dr. Crane, how old is Jonathan Vilma?
44.
43.
44 exactly. Up 6-3. Chaser, how old is actress Ellen Barkin?
I don't know who that is.
She was in, oh my gosh, the movie with Pacino where she had a stalker. She's been in 1,000 movies, and I can't think of any right now.
58.
Either.
59.
72. Dr. Crane, how old is Martin?
Martin Lawrence?
Yep.
Martin Lawrence is 60 on the dot.
61.
61 exactly. Here he comes, folks. 6-5. Chaser, how old is from 2.5 Men? John Cryer.
62.
65.
61. We are tied at 6, folks. Here we go, lightning round. Dr. Crane, how old is singer crooner Bobby Vinton?
54.
74.
91. Chaser, how old is the lead singer of Midnight Oil, Peter Garrett?
63.
67.
73. Dr. Crane, how old is singer bass player Jason Scheff of Chicago? He took over when Peter Cetera left, and a guy who lives here in Nashville. Jason Scheff.
63.
71.
64. Dr. Crane's up 7-6. Chaser, how old is Jimmy Osmond? Jimmy Osmond.
63.
60.
63 exactly. Chase is up 8-7. All right, we got this. Dr. Crane, the lead singer of Soul Asylum, David Perner, Runaway Train, Never Coming Back. Big song in the 90s.
70.
65.
62. Chaser, actor Peter Billingsley from A Christmas Story, the young kid, the actor. The main character guy.
Yeah. 56.
60.
55. Chaser's up 9-7. Dr. Crane, how is actor Lucas Haas? He's in one of the greatest movies of all time called Witness. He's been in a bunch of other movies as well. Lucas Haas.
I'm going to go with 50.
61.
50. We're tied at 9. We got one birthday left. Chaser, how old is Broadway actor Kelly O'Hara? Kelly O'Hara. How old is Broadway actor Kelly O'Hara?
56.
I'm going to go with 59.
He or she, I don't know who it is 50. So we got a tie. I'm out of birthdays. But on this day, George the Animal Steel was born.
Oh, well.
Good job,
there you
boys.
go.
Tied at 9.
Thank you very much. That is going to do it for us here today at the Omni.
Great show. Thanks for all the input. Thanks for all the texts. We love you guys. Listen, we talked earlier about that semicolon, which means you got a lot left to offer, man. So when they think of semicolon, think about your story's not over yet. So much to offer this world. We tell you all the time that when people think about you, they smile, they laugh. You light up a room when you walk in there. Never forget how many people love you and know that you're doing well, more than anything else, right? So know that. Know how great our world is because you are here. Know how powerful you are. And after everything you've been through, you're still here. And we love it. You're still here. Know that we love you. And more importantly, more than anything else in this world, go to therapy and know that God loves you.
Amen to that. Peace, love, rock and roll. DVD coming your way next from Bridgestone Arena, the final Predators game of the year. They'll have you covered here on 102.5 The Game.